Aloha everybody, and welcome to part 2 of Sonic Advance 3, and we just reached the special stage to get the Chaos Emerald. So in this one, you're basically on top of the Tornado 2, and it's the same kind of tunnel special stages that you remember from Sonic. Collect as many rings as they want you to collect. If you don't, they're going to kick you out. And if you do, well, they advance you to the second part of the special stage, which is exactly the same as the first part, only, you know, now you have to get more rings, and you're all familiar with how special stages work. Because this time you're on top of a plane, you have to keep in mind Sonic's movement on the plane. At some points in these special stages there will be bombs and actually different missile shooting enemies that you have to dodge and stuff. And there's also this little blue area thing, this blue little field that you jump into that morphs the Tornado 2 into its advanced X-shaped thing. And that's when the plane can move a lot better. It can move from left to right a lot faster. And it also multiplies the ring count that you're getting by 2. So you want to jump into that as much as you can because, well, obviously you want more rings and you want to be faster. So, you know, if you see a blue field, fly into it because it'll morph your plane, and you all want that. You all want that. Again, this is the first special stage in the game, so it's really not that hard. If you have weird depth perception, it might be a little bit tricky because it's kind of similar to the Sonic Advance 1 special stages where it's kind of hard to judge where you are in relation to the rings and such. I didn't really have a problem playing it, but I'm not sure how you guys will feel about it. Once you get a Chaos Emerald, you have that Chaos Emerald forever. You don't have to collect it with any other character in the game, so that's a good news. You have the Chaos Emerald, it's there. You don't have to collect all 7 with every character. Thank God. But folks, we got all the Chow, we got the Chaos Emerald, we cleared all the zones. It's time to go to the boss room of Route 99. The boss room in every hub world is unlocked after you've cleared all 3 acts. Each zone has 3 acts, and the only way the boss room opens is by, you know, beating those 3 acts. Alright, Dr. Eggman, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got up your sleeve. I really do love the boss fights in Sonic Advance 3, though. They are the best part of Sonic Advance 3, and... oh my god! Ladies and gentlemen, meet Gemerol, or Gemerol. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but, if you remember from my Take a Look at Sonic Battle video, Emerald was the main character of Sonic Battle. Emerald was this fighting robot that copied the abilities of the characters it was fighting, and that's Gemerol. Anyway, I'll go back into the whole Gemerol thing, but first, this is the first boss fight of the game. Dr. Eggman has this hammer that's, fucking Tails! Partners! But Eggman has this thing where he tilts in one direction, but then he slams his hammer in the complete opposite direction. Depending on how far you are, he'll actually slam all the way sideways, so you might want to be careful with that. Good tip is I like to just jump over the hammer after it flips on the other side, so I'll let it tilt on my side, then it flips over, and I'll jump over and just smash his egg dome. You can only hurt him by hitting the egg dome, but yeah, that's the first boss fight in the game. It's not really that bad. You do have rings for this boss fight, just make sure you're not walking into that hammer. Oh, Team Bristow. You're going to pay for this! For every boss fight, I will be getting the gold medal, don't worry, because, well, I'm not collecting Chow in these missions. I might as well act like a professional. But that's the first boss fight in the game. That is the first zone. That was Route 99. And now we're moving on to the second hub world and the second zone. Huzzah. And it is Sunset Hill. So before we move on with Sunset Hill, I am actually going to go back into the warp ring where I came from to show you the warp hub room. Basically, anytime you want to switch your characters, you can jump into this little machine and it will transform. It will let you become whoever you want to become. And every time you want to go to a zone you've been to previously, like Route 99, you jump into these top zone transporters up here. And this is the Chow Garden thing I mentioned earlier in part 1. By pushing select, you can see which Chow are in which levels, which one you've collected, which Chaos Emeralds you've gotten. So I do like that there's a checklist. I like that quite a bit. At least Sonic Advance 3 has that going for it, even though the Chaos Emerald system should still be simpler than this. But hey, It adds replayability to the game, I guess, so, you know, all the power to the people who like Sonic Advance 3. So now that we're in Sunset Hill, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to be Tails as the main player character, and I'm going to have Sonic be my assistant. Depending on who your assistant is and who you're controlling, things are a little bit different. For example, I'm going to try using Sonic's tag action. And super zoom. He zooms you super fast and gives you an instant boost, right? That's what Sonic does. Since I'm playing as Tails, you know how Tails behaves. He has a whip attack with his tails when you push the attack button. He can fly for a short period of time until he eventually gets tired out. I mean, we've all played Sonic. We all know who Tails is. So we know how Tails handles. And I'm sure if your ears don't deceive you, you know that you're listening to Green Hill Zone's music for Sunset Hill, although the music is a lot more epic and intense and over-dramatic, and I don't like it. People tell me they love Sunset Hill because it's like the best version of Green Hill's theme song, and I'm just like, really? I don't like how it sounds. Am I crazy? I don't like how high-pitched it is and how over-the-top and how... You know, it's just, it's too much for me. I don't know. I don't like this version of Green Hill. I think it's too high-pitched and it's too over-the-top. That's just my opinion. But some people love Sunset Hill's theme song because they think it's the best version of Green Hill, so I don't know. Good taste is in the ears of the beholder, I suppose. Just like all the other characters, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Cream, whoever you're playing, they can all grind on rails and stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. They all jump, they all spin dash. Well, Amy doesn't spin dash. Well, Amy does spin dash, depending on what person she's partnered with. Because, believe me, there's a lot more to the partner system, and that we'll be seeing when we get a lot more party members. Because right now we only have Sonic and Tails, and until we meet someone else, we're not going to be seeing too many drastic changes. Sonic and Tails are honestly one of the best combinations in the game that you can possibly have. Another thing I didn't mention is that Sonic Advance 2 brought in that whole double jump thing, where every time you hit the end of a rail or you hit a spring and you push the R button, your character would do this little double jump thing, like I just did with Tails right there. And when Sonic and Tails are partnered together, doesn't matter if you're Sonic or if you're Tails, they're allowed to do that. If Sonic was paired with Knuckles, for example, or Amy or Cream, Sonic cannot do a double jump. It really depends on how the partner system is and what partners you're with. Like Sonic and Tails, when they're together, they can double jump. When Amy and Cream are together, they can double jump. When Knuckles is with anybody, he can't double jump. Knuckles is an undouble jumping fiend. Undouble jumping fiend. That's a phrase I didn't think I'd say. But Knuckles has no double jump feature whatsoever. So if you're looking to double jump with Knuckles, tough shit, tough shit. Again, the advantage of being Tails as opposed to Cream is that he can fly for a lot longer of a time. When you're Cream, she tends to get tired out a lot more quicker. Although Cream does have that game-breaking Cheese the Chow. Oh yeah, Cheese the Chow is back for Sonic Advance 3. She's just as broken as she was in Sonic Advance 2. Good God, Cream the Rabbit is a broken fucking character. Whoa, Bungie. I like that. That's always fun. And yes, you're seeing me having played the level quite a bit and now knowing where all the Chow are. Because you can get all the Chow in one run, which I do like. It's not like a Sky Sanctuary in Sonic Generations situation where, you know, you have to play through the level 3 times in order to get all the unlockable features. Nope, I can get all the Chow in one run, so you're going to see exactly where to find them, where to go, and everything's going to be all hunky-dory in that department. That thing I'm on right now, it's not a normal spring. Basically, I have to push the jump button when it's low enough, but when it reaches the bottom, it pops back up, and then I have to wait until it gets to the very bottom again. Like, the closer I am to the bottom when I push the jump button, the higher it'll send my character. So that little spring thing is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but it's constantly in the game, but it's an alright feature of the game. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Sonic Advance 3 introduces a lot of timed puzzles, or at least timed actions. They have this thing where you activate this red or blue switch. Oh, by the way, I have to be Sonic for Act 3, and I'll tell you about why later. But they have these buttons that activate certain things, like you push it down and a spring will open up, and then you hear this little timer going down, like this ticking timer. When the timer goes away, that spring will go away, and then I can't use that spring. So you have to like run to where the spring is and jump on it before the timer goes off, and I don't like those kind of things. And then they have the blue buttons, which spawn these virtual blocks that you need to platform on and such. And I don't know, I don't really like that kind of platforming. I mean, there's a reason I don't think Sandopolis Zone is one of my favorite zones in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I didn't care for the timed puzzles and stuff where you had the hourglasses and whatnot. And Sonic Advance 3 is a lot of hourglass kind of stuff. It's not most of it, but I just think there's too many gimmicks in Sonic Advance 3, you know? That's my one issue with it. There's a lot of gimmicks with it that I just don't find enjoyable. Is it a terrible game? No, I'm not tearing my hair out when I play this. It's just, it's not fun to me. And if I ever look back on the series and I go, which Sonic Advance game do I want to play? Well, I really love Advance 1. Advance 2 is super fun. Advance 3 has so many crushing blocks and timed puzzles and the hub worlds and such. I'm gonna play Advance 1 and 2, you know. Just see where I'm coming from, you know. It's not a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game. It's just not a fun game in my opinion. It just made too many weird decisions for me to get into, you know? Also, thing to notice, in the top left corner, there is a speed icon. And that icon will affect one of... It affects a few things. When you have the speed icon, you can go into that boost thing, where I go into the after image and whatnot. That only happens when you have a speed icon in the top left corner, and again, that'll change depending on what partner you have and what characters you are. There's the speed icon, the flying icon, and the power icon. And when you're a speed icon, that means you can do the boost and you can go a lot faster. And I think that's about it. I'm not sure what else it could possibly affect, but I'm not a huge expert on Sonic Advance 3. I mean, I just know what I've been experimenting with and what I know from playing the game constantly, but, you know. Oh yes, the reason I'm playing as Sonic for Act 3 is that you can unlock a character here, but you have to be Sonic. If you're anybody else, that character will not show up, and you will not unlock them. Anywho, here is Gemerol. Gemerol from the Japanese Sonic Team website of Sonic Advance 3 is explained that Dr. Eggman found the pieces of Emerald from Sonic Battle and rebuilt him into a fighting robot to serve him. And Gemerol is basically a resurrected Emerald, only he's working for Dr. Eggman, and he's a constant boss fight throughout the course of the game, which I really enjoy. That's how Knuckles should have been in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You should have had to fight Knuckles constantly throughout the game. We're going to meet Gemerol quite a bit in this LP, which I enjoy. Speaking of Knuckles... Hey, it's Knuckles! What's going on now, Sonic? Maybe you can use my help. Thanks, but no thanks. He doesn't want your help because you're an idiot.
Shut up!
What? Wait a second! Hey! But yeah, now we can select Knuckles. Again, if you were not playing as Sonic, if you were playing as Tails for that level, you would not have found Knuckles and you would not have unlocked him. Why does that happen? Why couldn't it be anyone? Why do you have to be Sonic to unlock Knuckles? I missed out on Amy Rose one time because I wasn't playing as Sonic. I think that's stupid design, but anywho, folks, we'll see the second special stage in Part 3. See you then.